All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and it seems like Nikki Haley just can't keep her mouth shut. And if y'all seen my video from yesterday, Donald Trump went off on Nikki Haley about how he was saying that he would never choose her as a vice president. He would never even consider it, which we all knew that, and we knew it was a lot of lies going around on the internet saying that Donald Trump is thinking about choosing Nikki Haley. I'm like, that is bull crap. There's no way that Donald Trump would ever think about selecting Nikki Haley as a vice president. Like, come on. He'll never even consider that. When you got Vivek out there, you got Carrie Lake, you know what I'm saying? You got Candace Owens. And then my favorite that I told y'all, I would rather for him to choose Tucker Carlson. So he got all those names. You think he would skip over all those names to pick Nikki Haley? They were trying to use Donald Trump to try to raise her profile, but we ain't stupid. He's not going to do that. Now, this one's coming from Liberal High Mind. I will leave the original video in the description. He said this video here just ended Nikki Haley's whole campaign. I definitely want to check this out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody who clicked on this video for the very first time. And shout out to the one that always watches to the very end. When you do that, YouTube will share it so more people can see my reaction. And that right there is where it helps the channel grow. All right. So please hit that like button for me. Without further ado, let's dive straight into this and see exactly what just happened.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. The Nikki Haley story continues, or actually, the Nikki Haley story might have just ended. At least the story of her 2024 presidential campaign. Crabs in a bucket, folks, crabs in a bucket. It seems as though all the Republican candidates challenging Donald Trump, who initially came on the stage real strong, delivering a strong anti-Trump message, why he's such a threat to democracy, have slowly started to change course. I'd argue even doing a complete 180. Realizing it was all a futile endeavor, it seems as though they've now turned on each other, with Nikki Haley, or as Vivek calls her, Dick Cheney in 6-inch heels, as the main target. You know, I've been pretty clear throughout this whole primary process that I think Ron DeSantis ran a pretty poor campaign. I think the term lackluster is probably the best way to describe it, but I'll give credit where credit is due. Ron DeSantis' most recent campaign ad targeting Nikki Haley goes seriously hard. I'd even argue that Ron DeSantis is currently in the process of ending Nikki Haley's career. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So I think probably most of us have come to the same conclusion, or at least a similar conclusion. The more exposure to Nikki Haley we get, the more she comes off as a flip-flopper, as disingenuous, as just saying whatever she needs to say in the moment, your typical politician. Well, it seems as though Ron DeSantis feels the exact same way. He just released this scathing ad.
You're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. You're basically the new John Kerry.
I would not run if President Trump ran. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
Criticizing her former boss, telling Politico in an extensive new piece, quote, I don't think he's going to be in the picture. I don't think he can. He's fallen so far. We need to acknowledge he let us down. He went down the path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him, and we shouldn't have listened to him.
We should not want to go back to the Republican Party before Trump.
Donald Trump is everything we hear and teach our kids not to do.
Do you think that the president's misunderstood?
I do think he's misunderstood. I can tell you from the first day to the last day that I worked for the president, he always listened. I still consider him a friend today.
Don't say you're just going to build a wall, because a wall is not going to do it. It's not a real border. It's not a border at all. We need to finish what we started. Whether it's this or this, we need something. But a chain link fence?
You said Trump, quote, will be judged harshly by history. He went down a path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him.
Talk about you as vice president, and I know what you're going to say. I don't play for second. I got it. I've seen the line. Are you going to rule it out?
I don't play for second.
I knew you were going to
It's
say that.
offensive when anybody says that, oh, she wants to be vice president.
But you're not going to rule it out because you're not going to rule it out.
It's not even a conversation, and it doesn't matter what candidate wants me to answer it. I don't play for second. I don't know what more I can say than to get them to understand that.
Boy, I love flashbacks. I swear I love nothing more than flashbacks.
Hypocrite.
And this is exactly what I keep referencing with Nikki Haley. She has absolutely no conviction. She literally just licks her finger and tries to see where the wind is blowing and goes that direction. The clip that I generally reference, but I never really play it, was what she said post January 6th. She was the first politician to throw Trump under the bus, and this came after massive speculation that she was gearing up for a presidential race and that donors were getting behind her. That's exactly how it came off. Then, of course, when it backfired, once she realized that voters simply weren't just going to capitulate to Nancy Pelosi's little psyop, she started to reverse course. And that honestly is most of Nikki Haley's career. We all remember when she committed to not running against Donald Trump. Then, of course, that's exactly what she did. How are you ever supposed to trust a politician like that? If I don't know where you stand on most issues because you keep saying different things, or you're saying one thing then doing another when elected, saying one thing when it's politically convenient then switching it once the narrative changes, how could I possibly trust you? It's impossible to trust Nikki Haley. One of the major issues right now on the ballot is the southern border. Nikki Haley, of course, is going to say all of the right conservative things. Blah, 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 Biden border crisis, secure the border, yada, yada, yada. But then there's clips like this that exist.
But let's keep in mind, these people that are wanting to come here, they want to come for a better life too. They have kids too. They have a heart too. So we don't need to be disrespectful. We don't need to talk about them as criminals. They're not. They're families that want a better life, and they're desperate to get here.
They probably should have included that clip in the Ron DeSantis ad. Nikki Haley claims that it's inappropriate to call illegal immigrants criminals. Really? Because I'm pretty sure it's in the name illegal immigrant.
Illegal.
The word illegal seems for some reason synonymous with the word criminal. When your first act as you cross over into another nation is illegal, you are by definition a criminal. She then, of course, channels her inner Hillary Clinton, her inner Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and promotes the Koch brothers message. And so once again, it brings us back to the exact same point. How can anybody possibly vote for her expecting ideological and policy consistency? Obviously not gonna happen. She'll talk the game, she'll talk a good game, but then when push comes to shove, she's gonna be your typical globalist puppet. That's exactly who Nikki Haley is. And that Ron DeSantis campaign really put it all into perspective. In fact, Ron DeSantis has been going on an absolute tear going after Nikki Haley. Some of his rhetoric, I think, is really dead on. It's spot on.
Haley's running for her donors' issues. I'm running for your issue.
It's a perception thing, and I think Ron DeSantis hit the nail on the head. That's the way it feels. Look, it may not be true. Maybe Nikki Haley is super genuine, but I simply don't get that vibe, and I feel like most people feel the exact same way. She feels like an industry plant. Haley campaign says it hauled in $24 million in fourth quarter fundraising. And the question I think most people ask themselves is, how? Who is giving Nikki Haley this?
See, here's the thing right here. You cannot trust this woman at all. Look at all the stuff that she said. I would never run for president if Donald Trump is running. And what is she doing now? Trying to run for president. This woman been throwing Trump under the bus for the longest. See, that's what she's been doing. Like Liberal Hyman said, she'll say all the right things and then turn around and just go back on everything she just said. How can anybody trust this woman? How can anybody trust her? This woman is so two-faced. That's the reason why I said Donald Trump was never considering choosing this woman. She obviously like another Mike Pence, basically. Another Mike Pence is what she is. Say all of this stuff, talking about Trump, he's bad for this, he's that. And then she'll turn around and try to suck up to him to try to get votes. She'll try to say all the right things like she really care about Trump just to try to get the votes. And then turn right back around and talk crap about him. That's why Trump went off on her the other day in that text message saying he don't trust her. Nobody trusts her. I can walk out of my house now. It won't be nobody saying I'm voting for Nikki Haley. You will never hear somebody say I'm voting for Nikki Haley. That's crazy. This, like I said, she's just so two-faced, man. How can anybody trust anything that this woman say? So for the people out there talking about Trump was going to choose her, he was thinking about it, it was all a lie. At this point, we see what she's doing. She's trying to act like she's for Donald Trump, but at the same time, she don't like him. She want to act like she is to try to get some votes on the polls. That's what she's trying to do. Obviously, in the clips that Liberal High Mind just showed, it just goes to show you that this woman cannot be trusted. Cannot be trusted. And I know Trump would never take that chance at giving this woman an opportunity. Like I said, to me, she's another Mike Pence. Act like she's for you and then turn around and try to go against you and talk bad about you.
This money. It certainly isn't a grassroots movement. I'd love to know the average donation size, but I really don't need to because it's obvious that Nikki Haley is supported by major corporate donors. What do we know about major corporate donors? Well, of course, when they donate to your political campaign, they expect something in return, now don't they? Joe Biden described this during his 1970s interview that we played a couple days ago.
To raise $300,000 is no mean feat. And unless you happen to be some sort of anomaly, like myself, being a 29-year-old candidate and can attract some attention beyond your own state, it's very difficult to raise that money from a large group of people. I'm a 29-year-old oddball. The only reason I was able to raise the money is I was able to have a national constituency to run for office. Because I was 29, I'm like the token black or the token woman. I was the token young person. I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talked about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son.
And so, of course, the concern with Nikki Haley is, who exactly is backing her? Here are the billionaires backing Nikki Haley as a Trump alternative. LinkedIn's Reid Hoffman, Charles Koch, and more. LinkedIn's Reid Hoffman is a vehement anti-Trump Democrat, the same Democrat who had to apologize after funding a group that allegedly spread misinformation in an Alabama Senate race. The same Reid Hoffman funding E. Jean Carroll's case against Donald Trump. Now we're supposed to believe that Nikki Haley is going to be a MAGA ally. If elected president, give me a break. And then, of course,
if that woman get elected as president, this we're going to be in just about worse the shape it is with Biden being over it. Like, Nikki Haley can give it up. She would not become president in a million years. She will not become a president. Ain't no way. Because I don't see a whole lot of people sitting up here voting for Nikki Haley, especially after seeing like all these clips of how two-faced she is. 1 minute she's for you, 1 minute she this. Because y'all remember when Candace Owens called her out, he said that she should be the president for Israel. That's exactly what Candace Owens said. Nobody trusts this woman. There's no way she's becoming the president of the United States of America. It's just not going to happen.
course, Charles Koch. The same Koch brothers who want open borders and amnesty so they can keep importing cheap labor. Not exactly confidence-inspiring if you're interested in having a secure southern border. And also really add some context to the clip that I played earlier now, doesn't it? Very simply, Nikki Haley can't be trusted. She's not a grassroots politician. There's no grassroots movement behind her. She's clearly inauthentic. She's an industry plant. And Ron DeSantis' fiery ad might have just ended her campaign. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys.
I believe it have ended her campaign. I believe it have. You know, like showing those type of clips of how two-faced this woman really is. It's like at this point, how can anybody trust her? Anytime I've done any videos and we was talking about Nikki Haley, you can see the comment section. Everybody feel the same way I feel. This woman is two-faced. You got some people say if Donald Trump was to pick Nikki Haley or even consider it, they'll turn on him. Nobody likes Nikki Haley because Trump got way better offers than some Nikki Haley. And this woman been talking crap. Listen to all the stuff that she was just saying about Donald Trump. We shouldn't trust him. I never run for president if he's running. And I mean, just all type of stuff. And then she'll come back years later. I like Donald Trump. We don't have no problem with him. Like, what? You just look what you just said, and now all of a sudden you cool with me. Like, you can't trust this woman. She's a double talker. Say one thing and then say another one. Like, this woman cannot be trusted, and that's just what it is. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. Shout out to the one that watched to the very end. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.